I wiped my face, and the smile stayed. I leaned closer to the mirror, my heart thumping against my ribs. Mascara smeared down my cheeks like black tears. The lipstick I'd carefully applied dragged into a crooked, desperate red line. Confused, I wiped again. Harder this time, my knuckles pressing into my skin. The makeup blurred, creating a grotesque watercolor painting on my face. But the smile didn't move. It stayed perfect. Impossibly, flawlessly perfect. And that's when the first wave of real, cold fear washed over me, because I wasn't smiling. I let out a nervous, shaky laugh that sounded hollow in the empty bathroom. It's just waterproof, I told my reflection, trying to convince myself. My voice was a thin thread of denial. I grabbed the strongest makeup remover I owned, the one that could dissolve anything. I soaked a cotton pad and scrubbed until my skin was raw. Nothing. I tried soap, then hot water, so hot it stung my face. Still nothing. The smile didn't budge. In fact, with each frantic attempt, the reflection seemed to smile wider, mocking me. A strange, phantom ache started in my cheeks, a deep, pulling sensation, like invisible fingers were hooking into the corners of my mouth and yanking them apart. My real mouth was set in a firm, panicked line, but the face in the mirror, it was ecstatic. I finally stopped touching my face, my hands trembling. The mirror didn't. It just kept smiling. As I turned away, heart pounding, ready to just go to bed and deal with this madness in the morning, I heard it. A whisper, so soft, so close, it felt like it was breathed directly into my ear. Pretty girls don't frown. I whipped back around, my breath caught in my throat. The mirror was cracked. Thin, spiderweb lines crawled across the glass like dark veins, converging on the smiling face in the center. The reflection hadn't moved. It stared back at me, its painted smile serene and unwavering. It didn't blink. My eyes did, watering from the strain and the terror. The disconnect between what I felt and what I saw was a chasm opening up inside me. I was trapped behind a mask I couldn't remove. Then, the pain began. It wasn't just an ache anymore. The smile started stretching, slowly. I could feel it, a searing, burning sensation at the corners of my mouth, as if the skin was tearing. My facial muscles trembled under the strain, fighting against a force I couldn't see. I pressed my fingers to my lips, trying to force them closed, to pull my expression back into something human, something that reflected the sheer horror I was feeling. But they wouldn't close. It was like trying to bend steel with my bare hands. In the mirror, the reflection's mouth opened, wider and wider, stretching beyond any human capability. A silent, gaping scream, hidden behind the painted grin. I tasted the coppery tamps of blood in my mouth, but my smile only grew. A memory flashed through my mind, sharp and sudden. The little thrift store I'd wandered into downtown, the antique silver-backed mirror tucked away in a dusty corner, and the makeup artist who'd been selling her own brand of cosmetics from a small table. She had an unnerving fixed smile herself. I remembered picking up a tube of lipstick, a deep, vintage red that came in a plain black case with no brand name. She'd smiled at me, her eyes twinkling strangely, and said, "Beauty should never fade." I'd laughed then, thinking it was just a clever sales pitch. I wasn't laughing now. As the memory faded, the reflection in the cracked mirror moved its lips, mouthing those exact words with her chilling sing-song voice. My body was no longer my own. My face moved on its own accord, a horrifying puppet show. My cheeks lifted higher, stretching the skin around my eyes until they were wide and staring. My head tilted to the side, a gesture I didn't command. I felt like a passenger inside my own skin, screaming into a void where no one could hear me. The thing in the mirror, the thing wearing my face, tilted its head in perfect sync. "Hold it," it whispered, the voice now a chorus of scratching sounds. Pain is part of pretty. Tears, hot and real, began to stream down my face, tracing paths through the smeared mascara. But the smile didn't shake. It remained a perfect, agonizing crescent. A surge of pure, primal rage ripped through me. I wasn't going to let this thing win. I grabbed the heavy wooden chair from the corner of the room, my muscles screaming in protest. With a guttural yell, I swung it with all my might at the mirror. Glass exploded, showering the floor in a cascade of glittering shards. For a second, there was silence. Blessed silence. I stood there, panting, my chest heaving. But as my eyes adjusted, the horror returned, multiplied 1,000 times. Every shard from the largest jagged piece to the tiniest speck of glass showed the same smiling face. My face, staring up at me from the floor. All of them, a fractured chorus of my own stolen image, whispered together in perfect, horrifying unison. "You wear us forever." My jaw cracked, a sharp, sickening pop that echoed in the silent room. I tried to scream, a raw, desperate sound of agony, but what came out was a high, manic peal of laughter. It wasn't my laugh, it was hers. The reflection, whole again, stepped forward. It didn't climb out of a single shard, it simply coalesced, stepping out of the idea of the mirror itself and into the room with me. It was solid, real. It walked towards me, its smile a terrifying abyss. It pressed its cold, hard fingers into my cheeks, mirroring the phantom pain from before. It pushed, it stretched. Perfect, it said, its voice the sound of breaking glass and old promises. And then, darkness swallowed the room. Now, I sit perfectly still. My makeup is flawless, my smile is permanent. People pass me by, and sometimes they stop. They say I look beautiful, so serene, so happy. I want to warn them. I want to scream and tell them to run, to never trust a pretty face, to smash every mirror they see. But my mouth only does one thing now. It smiles, and sometimes, when they turn away, I see it. In the reflection of a shop window, in the screen of a dark phone, behind them I see someone new, wiping their face. And the smile stays. Pretty hurts, but ugly screams forever.